How's it going, folks? How are you doing today? Welcome to I'm Harm Live, where we bring unbiased news to your home, to your cell phone, to your Facebook profile, hopefully giving you as much information about the things that are changing our world today. At the moment, we are at the Del Rio border here in Del Rio, Texas. Better pronounced Del Rio, of the river in English. And here in Del Rio, Texas now for about a week and a half, we've witnessed what has been one of the biggest caravans ever seen here in Del Rio, Texas. About 14,000 to 15,000 individuals about a week ago showed up right behind me here where you see the fence under the bridge, under the international bridge, looking for political asylum. Since then, Border Patrol, the Department of Public Safety, and the state of Texas has activated troops and agencies to try to process and even deport as many individuals as quickly as possible in order to try to prevent any further tragedies or danger to the public. Now, this issue has presented itself as a very hot topic in the United States. There are people that feel very strongly on both sides about what's going on. We've seen that happen online. You've seen the comments, you've seen the discussions between leadership and between folks on Facebook. So let's walk around. I'm gonna go walk around. I talked to an individual who's here with the church. We're gonna ask him some questions about why he's here, but hang in there, guys. We'll get to that interview in just a second. Thank you so much again for joining us here at the Del Rio border in Del Rio, Texas.
A moment. We're gonna check the thing.
No worries. It'll be just a moment before I go ahead and speak to an individual who comes here with the church. He's volunteering, trying to find a way to provide help, but we'll ask him some questions about what brings him out here specifically during this crisis. And it definitely is a crisis, given, you know, just the sheer amount of folks who are having to live in inhumane conditions under the international bridge. Folks are building straw homes. They're having to live, you know, with very little access to food or water. People are showering with water bottles down there. There are children. There are so many family units. I think out of the 10,000 folks that are still down there, about 8,000 of them come here with a family, and most of those families don't have children, you know, 15, 14, 18. No, we're talking about children below the age of 5 who are sleeping on the ground, having to deal with dust. I spoke to one of the Haitian migrants that was released along with his family, and his wife told me that his son, a 6-year-old baby, was having fever and mucus due to the dust and the conditions that they had to endure down under the international bridge. You can see down there is National Guard. They've been sitting here at the gate here at the international border now for many days. This is one of the checkpoints where buses enter and leave full of migrants who are being, again, processed by border and customs. They're either given the opportunity to seek political asylum or are automatically deported back to Haiti. And if you haven't seen it in the news, a lot of these airplanes have arrived at Haiti. And once these airplanes land and folks realize they are in Haiti, they become upset. You know, folks become upset because there's very little communication about essentially what's going to happen with a lot of these folks. A lot of these folks are told, you know, come with us, you're next, we're going to process you. They jump on a plane thinking they're going to go to a processing center somewhere else in the United States and end up in Haiti, which has caused a lot of anger. It's caused a lot of disruptions. I've seen in the news that folks have stood up, you know, and tried to protest when the plane lands. You know, and these protests get very heated. Folks feel betrayed. They feel like these are human rights abuses, and that's, again, given just the lack of communication with these folks who are waiting at the border. Many of these folks aren't really told what's going to happen. I mean, you know, the United States Border Patrol and the United States Department of Public Safety is only trying to process as many folks as fast as possible, which means that in the course there's very little communication with the folks that are, you know, down there. They're simply just following directions. I spoke to somebody, a migrant down there. She said that they're given a number, they're given a color based on whether they're pregnant, family units, they're single, and so you know, you get your number, you get your color, you get called in, you get on a bus, you go to be processed, fingerprinted, and then after that you're either released with a notice to appear or put on a plane back to Haiti, or put on a plane to another city where you'll be eventually deported back to your home country. That could be Venezuela, that could be Colombia.
This is like wet here in battle, and like the soldier, like being in that direction, and also the port that we get to be there because it's like most people already identified with right here at the center.
Yeah, guys, and for those of you that are saying they're not going back, I mean, that's accurate, half accurate, because, you know, part of the folks that are being processed are being deported, and another portion of the folks that are being processed are being released. It just really depends on the title, the ability of the United States to use different immigration policies. There are certain titles. I think it's like Title 8 that formally allowed the United States to deport folks almost immediately without any form of processing due to COVID safety standards, but that's being challenged. I mean, there's so many laws right now that really make the process a lot more complicated than it is. So for those of you saying people are being released and they're not being deported, you're right. But for those of you that are saying people are not being released, they're being deported, you're right too. All of that is happening today right here at the Del Rio, Texas International Bridge. It's all taking place, you know, as we speak, and there's no real way to, you know, try to generalize what's happening. Not everybody's here for handouts. Not everybody is here for an economic opportunity. Some folks are here for a genuine fear for their life. Some folks are here because they're looking for a better job. Some folks are here because they have family members that have paid to get them here. And about the question, so I see this question constantly in the comments. How are folks getting here from Haiti? Haiti's an island. Are they swimming? How is it that they're traveling? Well, a lot of the folks that are here, as we have reports, confirmed reports by both government officials and news agencies that have had the privilege of going down under that bridge, what we know is that a lot of these individuals previously escaped from Haiti after the 2010 earthquake, after the political, assassination of the president. I mean, Haiti has been for a very long time suffering from a variety of issues, including political corruption, including economic disaster, natural disaster. I mean, you name it. Folks for now many years have been seeking asylum and have been seeking refuge in Latin American countries like Chile that allowed folks to come in with not open borders, but with an open heart. I mean, Chile is one of the few countries that, after the natural disasters in Haiti, allowed folks to come in with little to no vetting process. And so again, that's kind of how you're seeing folks come out from Haiti to Latin American countries or South American countries, and then traveling up from those countries, walking mostly, to the United States. And again, I really want to reiterate, for those of you that are like claiming nobody's getting deported, that is absolutely not true. There are airplanes currently landing in Haiti with folks protesting you know, upset that they were not informed that they were being deported back to Haiti. And those reports and those videos, you can look them up. I mean, whatever political aisle you're on, Fox News, watch CNN, you can find that information. So if you are claiming that nobody's getting deported or that nobody's getting sent back home and that the Biden administration is lying just like you are, Bill, in the comments, you're wrong. You're just factually incorrect. You haven't done your research and you're just coming in here and speaking without first doing your research. And that's one thing that I encourage each and every single one of you to do before you comment. You know, please do your research. Don't spread misinformation. I mean, you come in here and you say it with so much certainty, and then the very news sources that you trust, whether it's Fox News or CNN, obviously contradict you with the facts. I mean, so please, you know, keep yourself informed. It's so important. It keeps this community, because what I really want to focus on is building a community of informed, civil individuals that care about the truth. And I can't say that that's the community we're building if most of the folks in the comments, or some folks in the comments, are making claims that simply do not match up to the facts, no matter what news source you depend on. And if you depend on some weird news source that is really obscure and that, you know, doesn't really have a formal vetting system or isn't well recognized as being credible, then I'd ask you to reevaluate your sources. Make sure that the sources that you're looking through make sense. So yes, please guys, I beg you, don't spread misinformation. It's really important for us to all keep as informed as possible. And in order to do that, we all have to do our fair share of research. And again, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not trying to tell you what the solution is. I'm not saying this is right, this is wrong. I'm just giving you the facts. And for those of you that say that the fact is that they're not being deported, you're wrong. Just look up the information. And I hope that that is clear, you know, as we're speaking here. I hope it's clear that, you know, I'm not being biased towards one political party or idea, rather that I'm just trying to encourage you as much as I possibly can to look up the facts, especially because today's my last day here. Today's the last day that I get the opportunity to talk to you guys about this topic while I'm here on the ground. I may be able to do it from Austin, but the value of the information and the visuals isn't the same when I'm no longer here on the ground. So how do I know? Look it up. Look up planes going to Haiti. If you have questions about that fact, just look it up. You'll find articles on hundreds of news agencies reporting on people protesting after being informed that they have landed and are being released in Haiti. But if you guys just give me a few minutes, we'll get that interview with that individual from the church that I spoke with, and then we might call it a day. And again, if you want news here in Texas, if you want unbiased factual news, please, you know, like, share, follow, comment. That really helps continue the flow of information on this platform. So again, thank you so much for being a part of these efforts to try to bring unbiased information. And again, it truly is unbiased, guys. If I ever contest you, it'll be on things that I can share with you, where I can give you an article that, you know, very clearly proves that you are factually incorrect. I won't ever make a claim without being able to bring substantial evidence. I mean, and again, there's a difference between facts and opinion. There are opinions, like whether or not this is right or wrong, whether or not, you know, these folks need to be sent back or not. I mean, like, that is a matter of legal opinion and whatnot. And so I won't tell you this is what we got to do, but I will tell you what is going on. That way you can form your own opinion, an informed opinion based on facts and numbers and statistics, right? That's what this is all about here at Hiram LLC. And I do want to comment on a post we made recently. So we were talking about the allegations, and again, they're allegations. And if you can't keep up with some of the language, then I hope that you find an education and you find a way to like understand how to read news, because you know, sometimes I'll say, well, this person alleges, and then folks are like, that's false news. But making an allegation is not making a statement of fact. When I say somebody alleges, that means that somebody is saying something, not that what they're saying is true, right? And so recently made a post on the page talking about the allegations of Border Patrol using their reins as whips. And many folks were upset. They're like, that's false news. It's not true, but it is true that folks are saying that Border Patrol use that as whips. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's what people are saying happened. And if you can't make that distinction in language, then go back to school. Or follow the page, and hopefully, you know, throughout the course of time I can help, you know, provide you a little bit more details or a little bit more weapons, you know, in terms of knowledge on how to read news and how to digest news and how to distinguish between fake news and just news that you don't like because it doesn't feel good. Because not everything that doesn't feel good is not fake news. And in the case of the whips allegations and everything, I mean, all we know is that there were some videos. Some people say that folks were getting whipped. Other people say that the horses are, you know, manipulated that way, that these whips are an important way of riding a horse. I understand that. Nonetheless, you know, the fact is people are making those allegations, and it's gotten so much attention that now the Department of Homeland Security is going to, you know, launch an investigation into these allegations. And again, I'm not saying it happened, you know, it's a very well, I mean, I only saw the video. I couldn't tell you just from the videos that I saw that it's a certainty that it happened. But it's important to know, you know, that these allegations are made, that these videos exist, to acknowledge them, and then to wait to see what these investigations produce and see if they line up with the videos and the pictures that we've seen, if these explanations are satisfactory. I mean, we just continue to dig deep until we find those answers. Of course, every situation is created. Somebody commented, "Oh, go investigate a situation they created." Yeah, situations are always created. You know, just spontaneously happen out of nowhere. They somehow are created, and we should investigate every created situation. I mean, that comment, I don't usually engage with comments, but recently I've been a little bit upset because I feel like a lot of folks, you know, some of this information just goes over their head and they respond emotionally. And my objective here is always to make sure that everybody is not responding emotionally, but we're responding to the facts. You know, we're not responding to getting angry. We're responding to the things that we're seeing in an educated fashion. So please bear with me as we, you know, walk around and talk about some of the facts, and hopefully maybe interview some folks that are you know, down here on the ground, and we'll hear their opinions, right? You won't hear my opinions, but you might hear their opinions. And I interview everybody, no matter what side of the political spectrum they may be, or no matter what those folks individually may think. I've been to Trump rallies. Famously, I was in Oklahoma during the Tulsa rally. I've been to also, you know, MAGA events. I've been to all kinds of things, guys. This is not like I'm favoring one person over the other. I've been to anti-abortion rallies. I've been to pro-abortion rallies. I mean, you name it. I'm there because it's happening, and that's just the fact of the matter, is that we live in the world. These things happen, and we can't turn a blind eye. We can't just ignore the fact that, you know, there are people that believe different things. But we will never disagree on the facts, or hopefully we don't. Because facts are something we can measure. You know, if something is a fact, then we can go and verify. We can go and, if I say there's 5 ducks, we can go and count 5 ducks, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for a certain place, and I thought I found it. I have not. Are you doing delivery?
No, he has to be on the other side.
Can you bring food to people? I'm bringing food to people who I work with.
So, folks, for those of you that don't know, we're down here at the Del Rio, Texas border. I've been ranting a lot, just trying to reestablish the fact that this is an unbiased channel, that we just do objective information, that we're not here to lie to you. I'm not here to give you anything but the observations I've made while I've been here. And in my time as a journalist, I've upset people on both sides equally. I've suffered the consequences as a result. But that means I'm doing my job, you know. That means that, like, I'm not, you know, bending over to any particular political party or political idea. That means that we're reporting the facts. And here in Del Rio, Texas, we got a couple facts that we know. First of all, we know that there are 14,000 people, upwards of 15,000 people that showed up around Wednesday under the Del Rio International Bridge. We also know the fact that most of these folks were Haitian. On top of that, we also know that most of these folks were living in South America for an extended period of time. You know, most of these folks escaped Haiti during some of the political and economic and natural disasters that happened in 2010. The Haitian president was assassinated not too long ago. So these folks ran into South American countries or Latin American countries where they were accepted. Chile, for example, was accepting everybody who was escaping from Haiti at some point, which is why many Haitian individuals come from Chile, Costa Rica, and countries in South America and Latin America. And from there, folks made their way here. They walked through Honduras, through Guatemala, through Panama. In Panama, there's a famous mountain of death where so many migrants die on their way here, and that's a fact. You know, and the fact is too that there's a lot of family units down there, a lot of children, a lot of folks that, you know, traveled here with 5-month-old babies, you know, risking it all. The fact is too that a lot of the folks here, you know, are single, and then the fact is that the Biden administration is putting a lot of these single folks in planes and deporting them back to Haiti. We know that because we've seen videos, we've seen evidence, the administration has said it, and I've witnessed it myself. Folks are being flown right back to Haiti, you know, if they don't qualify for political asylum, or if they don't qualify for any kind of other immigration relief, humanitarian relief. So, you know, those are the facts. And also, there is another fact, that family units, pregnant women, are being released and are given notices to appear. And the fact is, here in the United States, asylum takes 12 to 36 months, and that these folks will be here, some of them wearing ankle bracelets. What for? These ankle bracelets help the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection to keep track of where folks end up. You know, what the last thing immigration forces here in the United States want is for folks to just, you know, disappear after they're given a notice to appear. So the United States takes extensive measures, fingerprinting, taking pictures, you know, creating identifying documents, you know, getting and collecting addresses and family member information to make sure that the folks that they are releasing aren't just up and disappearing, right? So and that's not to say that that's a 100% effective system, but nonetheless, that is a fact of what is happening here at the Del Rio border today. Another fact is that since I've been here on Friday, the numbers have diminished. They've gone from 14,000, 15,000 down to 8,000. The United States has been successfully able to activate border forces, and they've been able to successfully activate the Department of Public Safety to take control of the situation down there. They've been now processing up to 3,000 folks a day. And by that I mean not processing and releasing, but either processing and releasing or processing and deporting. It just really depends on who you are and what you're doing. And another fact here is that we've seen pictures and videos of Border Patrol agents using reins somehow, in some way. We've heard allegations that these reins and or, like, you know, whatever you want to call them, have been used as whips. The videos, you know, have brought some doubts into some people's minds, and those people have made those allegations. I'm not saying it's true. Again, you know, I got to be really careful with my wording, because some of you guys, you know, don't seem to understand the word allegation, but those allegations have been made, and they've been strong enough to prompt the Department of Homeland Security to launch an investigation into the videos and the pictures that have been released. And And those are the facts of today. Those are the facts that I can give you down here at the Del Rio border. I'm just waiting to see, hopefully we can get that interview with that individual. He seems a little bit busy. He comes from a church. I want him to give you his perspective. See, that's when you get an opinion, when I interview somebody else. But personally for myself, I stick to the facts and I just interview as many people as I can find here on the ground. But again, thank you so much for joining us down here at the Del Rio border. Right behind me is where thousands of individuals are still waiting to be processed and or deported. And the situation, according to the Department of Homeland Security, hopefully is expected to dissipate by Friday, which means that by Friday they're hoping that all these individuals here are gone. Let me give you another few facts from what's going on down here. The Del Rio International Bridge has been closed from Friday, since Friday. That's a big deal because a lot of folks that work in Mexico and or work in the United States and travel to and from every day have not been able to do so. There are restaurant owners that have, like waitresses, you know, they're employees that live in Mexico and work here in the United States that simply have not been able to come to work for a really long time because the international bridge has been closed. But it is not true, after investigation, that restaurants are running out of food or that they're being forced to cook for migrants. But it is true, it is a fact that many restaurants here have decided that because they support law enforcement, they've closed their restaurants and have decided to spend most of their resources and food cooking for law enforcement down here. But there are no food shortages, and individuals down here, some restaurant owners, a few restaurant owners have decided to generously cook for law enforcement while they're down here. I mean, there are thousands of Department of Public Safety individuals here. There are thousands of Border Patrol agents. I mean, I don't know if it's actually literally thousands, but it just feels that way with the sheer amount of cars and vehicles and staff that I see driving around here. National Guard has been activated as well, and they've been closely monitoring all the gates and even all the locations along the border, you know, spanning from here all the way around, and I wish I could show you. I'd have to drive down there, but all the way around there are Humvees and National Guard, you know, individuals just standing by, waiting and making sure that nobody is crossing the border illegally or without any proper documentation. So that's kind of what the visuals and the scene is. Those are some basic facts about what's going on down here in the Del Rio, Texas border. And again, as soon as I get the opportunity, we'll jump into that interview and hear what some of the folks down opinion is down here who are on the ground. How's it going? How are you?
Alright.
Do you mind an interview?
Do I mind an interview?
Yeah. Can I ask you some questions? No? No worries.
No thanks. I gotta stay under the radar, man.
Ya fuimos ya.
¿Ah?
Estaba la gente, un muchacho cruzando y se entregó.
¿Se entregó?
Se entregó a él.
Oh,
Me dio pena.
¿Lo grabaron?
Ah, yo lo tengo aquí en un celular.
Oh, wow.
¿Te lo puedo pasar?
¿Sí? Sí, sí. ¿Lo puedes enseñar aquí en la cámara?
This next cycle, I'll lift you up.
Tranquilo.
Oh, hell, get it right here.
I'm gonna say que I'll do it, but I know que
Coño. ¿Y tú no entrabas a grabar a la gente?
No, no me han, no puedo.
Oye, si pudiera dártelo, te lo diera.
Yeah. No.
After I get done here, I'll look you up.
Danny.
Sheriff,
We got a lot
could I ask you a few questions? Do you mind?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Sheriff.
Por ver con el celular.
He's gonna go home and go to bed. He's tired.
So this just happened right now, guys. This individual was crossing the border. He swam over, and that right there, who you're seeing, is the sheriff here in Valverde. He turned himself in to the sheriff after having swam across the river. And this just happened right now, guys. So all of this is like really, really recent. I can't tell you exactly what happened with this individual, but here they were, some media, they were out there filming, and this individual was swimming across the river as they were down there, and he turned himself in to the sheriff here, who I'll be interviewing in just a few minutes. But these are images just coming in from folks that were just down there right now.
Dale manguera a los tenis, eso después. Manguera. A las 7 me están diciendo que a las 7 vamos en vivo.
Sí, gracias.
¿Cómo están las situaciones en Acuña? Mucha
Te mandan el número. Te voy a dar el número ahora.
Aquí va a andar, ¿verdad? No, yo te traigo una.
Él nadó, ¿verdad?
Sí.
He was swimming. Yeah.
Sheriff, where should I go to dinner tonight?
¿Ah?
Lo que pasa es que yo estaba haciendo otra cosa con la cámara,
Sí.
con la grande, y tuve que tirar con el celular. ¿Te lo mando?
Sí, sí, por favor, gracias,
¿Tú lo necesitas, verdad?
Sí. Voy a hablar con el Cherry.
Se lo voy a mandar.
Ah,
No tengo su número, pero me lo da su número y se lo mando. Por texto. ¿Qué es?
972 352.
So we'll interview the sheriff actually about the situation. Many of you guys are saying, oh, he wasn't swimming, but I'm about to prove you wrong by talking to the sheriff here. And if you trust law enforcement, then obviously we'll get the facts about what that video was showing. Just so you know that if you put a comment in there and said he has a dry shirt, he obviously wasn't swimming, you're one of those people that I was talking about that doesn't make an effort to try to inform themselves properly, and that you should probably reevaluate the way that you process facts.
Recordarle. Sí, también su carácter de él era. Le pusieron Cherry, ¿verdad? Porque tienen las cualidades y todo. Muy bien, muchas gracias.
¿Puedo preguntar unas preguntas?
Ya estando cansado. Le doy 2 minutos, hombre.
Ok, súper rápido. ¿Puede ser en inglés?
En inglés, sí.
Sí, perfecto. So,
Yes,
you
sir.
were just down there, right, at the border,
Yes.
and you saw an individual swim up to you.
Well, he walked across.
Oh, he walked across. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't swimming.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect. And that's funny because I was told by these individuals that he swam. Do you have any idea why they felt like he might have swum? No. Anyway,
No.
so he turned himself.
There were some
into-
other people on the other side swimming.
Yeah.
There was
yeah.
a group of 3, and then he walked.
Great. I see. So anyway, so he turned himself into you, and has that been kind of the case here at the border, or?
So he's one of the few that has come up to turn themselves in today. Because the numbers, I think yesterday, I don't have the number, but there was one day this week where one person turned themselves in behind his line.
Yeah.
And that's it. So they're scattering out a little bit further out.
And you've successfully been able to stop most of the flow for now of folks coming in.
For now, from to the west of the bridge, yes. I don't know the activity on the east side of the bridge.
Yeah.
They've got a group there that they're trying to squeeze in to get them. So the main focus today has been basically for sanitary, because you were looking at third world country conditions down there.
Yeah.
And they're a lot better
Of course.
today. They got enough water, enough food,
Yeah.
medical. They got all that for everybody down there.
Yeah. And just when is this situation expected to be over and done with, or hopefully fixed?
I got the numbers. I just drove back by there. The number over there was 4,780. So from being 15,000 a couple of days ago to this number, So, you know, I'm hoping that in the next 4 or 5 days, it's going to be very, very telling as to they'll give us, you know, Friday will be the day that, you know, decision will probably have to be made.
Great. And just to finish, what's one thing you really want folks at home to know about the situation here that most people might be confused about, or you might see in the news it's just outright wrong?
So, you know, the individuals that are down there, they're receiving, you know, the proper care so they can maintain themselves while they're there here. But, you know, there's probably 2,100 personnel down there that are working hard to get this resolved. But the support from the community, you know, that's a big piece, because, you know, throughout the country they're wanting to defund the police and everything, and our community came together strong, and I'm proud of them for doing that, for standing up for the individuals here, the first responders.
Thank you so much. And could you just give us your name real quick?
Joe Frank Martinez, Sheriff of Alberta County.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
Yes, sir.
So guys, I have to sincerely apologize. I mean, like, I was really certain that since he was the one that filmed the video, and because I asked him 3 different times if he swam across, and because there's a big giant river, I mean, it just made sense, right? But again, I was completely wrong, and I'm glad that, again, you know, I took the time to ask the sheriff anyway, you know, to confirm that fact, and I hope that, you know what I mean, from that you learn that, like myself, many of us can make those mistakes, right? And it's always important, like myself, to come here on the ground and ask the questions. The difference, you know, I guess, between myself and today and some of you guys in the comments is that many of you guys in the comments won't come down here and ask these questions yourself, which is why most of the time I feel really confident about the facts that I'm giving you, because I'm actually here, because I'm actually witnessing them, because I don't just sit on my couch and, you know, just wait for these facts to come to me. I ask the people that are actually experiencing this, that are actually present, like the sheriff and like that individual. I don't know why he said he swam across again, and I'm sincerely, you know, sorry. Like, my fault. Like, I was really certain that because he filmed it with his cell phone, like he said, that when he said he swam, he must have swam. But again, and maybe he meant he walked across through the dam. I mean, there is a river, and he might have, you know, walked across the dam, which is full of water, and so he might have walked across the river, but didn't necessarily have to swim. I mean, who knows? At this point, I'm not even going to try to put the facts, but if you guys, you know, are mad at me for that, you have every right to be, and if you're rubbing it in my face, I probably deserve it, right? Again, I was really certain, because he was the one that filmed it, that that's exactly what happened. But we cleared it up with the sheriff. Again, I wasn't just gonna not ask the sheriff if he swam or not, you know. I at the end of the day, I took it upon myself, even if I felt confident about the information, to still ask. You know, I didn't walk away with that arrogance. I didn't walk away with that fact and just, you know, decided not to arrogantly ask the sheriff. I still took it upon myself to find that information. But enough of that, you know. We are down at the Del Rio border. It is the last day that I'm going to be here, guys, unfortunately. I'll go ask that guy again, you know, just for the sake of, you know, double checking if he walked across the dam, if that's what happened, just so we can clear that situation up. But it's my last day here at the Del Rio border. I might be back at some point, but we're reporting here as many facts as we can, as much information that we're observing, that we're getting from the folks that have been here since day one. This is a situation that hopefully may end soon. I mean, you heard the sheriff speak. They're now down to 4,000 individuals from 15,000 about a couple days ago, which is an incredible amount of folks to be processed at an incredible amount of speed. I mean, like, that the speed at which they've been, you know, getting folks out from under the bridge is incredible. I mean, that's 10,000 people in the span of about 3 to 4 days since, you know, I've arrived. So thank you, guys. This is I'm Hiram Live LLC here with, you know, in Del Rio, Texas, just trying to get you as many facts as I can about what's going on. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Stay educated, accept your mistakes, learn something, like I will probably today. I'll probably be driving home feeling terrible about being so certain, because yeah, it's you know, I mean, whoever showed me this video and filmed it may have misspoke or may have misunderstood my question. I mean, who knows? But again, guys, thank you so much. Many of you guys won't forgive me. You can leave, you know, I totally understand, but thank you for joining us, and we'll be in Texas, you know, reporting more facts. I am based out of Austin, so many of the videos and filming that you're going to see is going to be based in Austin. I attend everything. I go to MAGA rallies. I go to you know, all kinds of different situations, you know, that are going on. It just doesn't matter who or what is saying what. If it's happening, I try to report on it honestly as I possibly can. But again, thank you so much, guys, and have a beautiful day. Well, look, so before I finish, I just took some time to read some of the comments. It's like I said, the difference here is that, like, you know, I'll take the time to ask again, right? Even if I felt in that moment that I was confident. And I hope some of you guys can do the same. Like, you know, take the facts, go and ask again, verify, never stop asking yourself questions. But again, I'll leave this one. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you around.